Hello everyone, my name is Amos from Symmetry Acoustics. Acoustic specialist or noise control specialist for that matter, and I'm making this video for one purpose only, to be able to educate a lot of people out there who do not understand the concept of sound or how sound works or how sound interacts with the buildings for that matter. So under room acoustics, we have what we call soundproofing, and also we have what we call acoustic treatment. They are two different things. And when I'm talking about acoustics, I'm talking about how sound interacts with different materials or in different environments for that matter. And that means we also have acoustics in speaker design. For those who are familiar with that, we have acoustics in medicine, we have acoustics in military. So in this case, I want to talk about acoustics in construction industry under what we call building acoustics. So how sound interacts with buildings for that matter, because that is the problem that a lot of people face. So those who are looking for solutions to control noise normally find it very difficult to differentiate between controlling the echo within the room and blocking the noise from coming into the room and going outside of the room. And this is mainly caused by flaws in marketing strategies of manufacturers in most cases, because a lot of them will sell you sound absorption materials or echo reducing materials as soundproofing materials. For instance, a situation whereby somebody tells you we have a soundproof foam or a soundproof panel or a soundproof curtain. All these are flawed view of how things work. Now, this is the purpose of that video. So under room acoustics, we have soundproofing. Soundproofing is the same as sound isolation and is the same as sound insulation. And this is now the mechanism whereby you are trying to block noise from coming into the room or going outside of the room where you are in. And this is what we call soundproofing. Acoustic treatment, on the other hand, is now the mechanism or the process whereby you install acoustic panels or those foam panels or any sound absorption materials on the boundary surface of your room to reduce echo. That is the difference. Soundproofing is sound insulation or blocking noise from coming to the room and going outside of the room, and acoustic treatment is applying acoustic materials on the walls to minimize the reverberation, absorb the sound and prevent it from bouncing back and forth and causing that distortion we call reverberation. So how do we achieve a perfect or a near perfect soundproofing? Will depend on very many factors. And number one is room usage or the kind of noise you are dealing with in this scenario, because if you're going to insulate your room or soundproof your room, you need to understand what we call sound frequencies. And it's something very important, whether you are an expert in sound or not. It's very important to understand that soundproofing is frequency dependent. By that I mean we have certain sound that are very powerful. For instance, traffic noise, the trucks. We have the sub bass from the matatus. You understand those very heavy sub from matatus. Those are very powerful sounds that you need to understand their concept before you start to soundproof. Somebody running a club needs to strategize differently for somebody just designing an office for speech privacy, for that matter. So if you're going to soundproof your room, you need to understand what frequencies are we dealing with this in this case, because we have low frequencies, we have mid-range frequencies, we have high frequencies. High frequencies are sharp frequencies like honking. We have mostly female voices. We have birds. Those are high frequencies, and they can easily be stopped by just concrete wall or a decent partition can stop those high frequencies. The mid-range, that is now we have a lot of traffic in that area, male voices. We have a lot of instruments in that area also. That also require different kind of isolation to be able to control them. And then the last, which is the most powerful, is the sub-bass region, because these are now sound waves which are more like omnidirectional. They travel in kind of a ocean wave design pattern. They are very hard to control because they will cause the whole building to vibrate. So it's structural in nature. So if you're going to deal with this kind of low frequency, then the strategy for soundproofing is entirely different. In some cases, you may be forced to design a house with two different foundations, because now there's a structural vibration issue. So those are factors that you need to take into account before you figure out how to control or how to soundproof your room to get a good result from whatever you're building. Acoustic treatment, on the other hand, we have different materials that are designed specifically for that job. And we have acoustic foam, we have polyester or PET, and we have things like acoustic diffusers. All these materials either absorb or scatter sound to minimize what we call reverberation or echo, as a lot of people understand it. So I hope that helps.